For our theme tonight, the art of compassion, here's a quote from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I consider human affection or compassion to be the universal religion. Whether a believer or a non-believer, everyone needs human affection and compassion because compassion gives us inner strength, hope, mental peace. Thus, it is indispensable for everyone. His Holiness is an exemplar of peace and wisdom, spreading a message of compassion throughout the world by sharing the treasury of Buddhist teachings. A few years ago, I made a painting of the Dalai Lama. His Holiness is shown in a prayerful blessing posture, which is his common greeting. He describes himself as a humble monk, yet his followers know him as the worldly incarnation of the visionary bodhisattva of active compassion, Avalokitesvara, with 11 heads and 1,000 arms. The prayer chanted to honor this Buddha is the national mantra of Tibet, Om Mani Padme Hung, Hail the Jewel in the Lotus. This mantric prayer appears as the background of my painting, as a manifestation of the sky-like nature of mind. Featured also in the painting is the Dalai Lama's magnificent residence, the Potala, built many centuries ago in Tibet. For the past 6 decades, the Chinese military have occupied Tibet. Armies have destroyed monasteries, committed atrocities, and restricted the practices of Tibetan spiritual people. Nevertheless, the Dalai Lama, who lives in exile in Dharamsala, India, remains one of the world's foremost proponents of nonviolence, stating, "The key to genuine world peace is inner peace." Allison and I were fortunate to study with His Holiness on several occasions. In 1981, we attended his lectures at Harvard Divinity School, Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. It was the first time we had learned of the archetype of the Bodhisattva, and it made a lasting impression. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that the Bodhisattva is a liberated being who has chosen to reincarnate in samsara, the wheel of suffering, in order to benefit and liberate all beings. Avalokitesvara's 1,000 arms reach out to assist the world, each hand with an eye of unobstructed vision that can see how best to serve the world. Buddhist teachings say that without the proper motivation, one will not develop spiritually or gain liberation. The correct motivation is to have bodhicitta, the altruistic intention to become enlightened for the benefit of all beings, including oneself. Both intention and action can transform any person toward being a bodhisattva, one who uses skillful means to awaken and relieve suffering in others. Art can be one of these skillful means. Creative actions can provide inspiration to a suffering world. Seeing a magnificent statue or an image of a wisdom master with a transcendental smile can interrupt our thought patterns, take us momentarily beyond our limited ego, and implant in us the possibility of our own awakening. Presence of divine light, symbolized in visionary art, attracts the viewer toward their own spiritual identity. Once we see the sacred preciousness of our own brief existence, we begin to appreciate what Albert Schweitzer meant when he said that the foundation of ethics was reverence for life. The uplifting story of Albert Schweitzer began with his studies as an organist and music scholar, specializing in the work of composer Johann Sebastian Bach. Schweitzer ached from the senseless suffering in the world as compared to his own happiness. He made a pact with God to study his passion until the age of 30 and then do what God asked of him in service to the world. Albert believed that God wanted him to become a doctor and then go to a place in the world without medical support. After completing his medical training, Albert moved to an African village and founded a hospital where he helped and healed thousands of patients for 50 years. Many neighbors became his friends and worked at the clinic. In Schweitzer's reverence for life, he dearly loved animals and said, "Until one extends the circle of compassion to all living beings, humanity will not find peace." Periodically, Albert would emerge from his hospital village and travel far to wealthier parts of the world where he would play Bach organ recitals to raise money for medicine and supplies for his clinic. Some of these recorded concerts have become our favorite music for deep healing, painting, and journeying. Immersing in sacred art and listening to music are among the chief inspirations that refresh souls and keep us in love with life. If we wish our art to be a spiritual offering, it's essential to share experiences of the highest, most beautiful states of consciousness. Art can be a lens into the visionary worlds. The essence of all spiritual paths is to develop a deeply compassionate heart. Compassionate acts of creativity can serve the same goal. Imagine a world modeled on caring, in which we see the suffering and work toward improved health, greater freedom, and justice for all. Our eyes form a bridge to our souls. The love we share is our most important expression in life. Artworks that are carefully handmade with devotion become batteries of transcendental love energy. The receptive, contemplative viewer is charged and renewed with these repositories of mystic power. This motivation encouraged the founding of CoSM, an interspiritual art church, and the building of Entheon, a sanctuary of visionary art. With the support of CoSM community, this sacred site, in all of its richness and beauty, is offered as a place to commune with artworks reflecting our highest states of awareness. We're so grateful to friends who've been part of this journey. Recent progress toward reopening is being made in the Tool Shrine, covering the walls with images of dedicated, tattooed Tool fans. We'd also like to thank Paul Stamets, world's foremost mycologist, for loaning CoSM one of his beautiful 2,000-year-old Guatemalan mushroom stones, offering historic gravity to the psychedelic reliquary. You're invited to join the small groups of CoSM members who've been welcomed to monthly preview tours leading to CoSM's reopening sometime later this year, and Entheon will soon be open to all.